Hey everybody, now that there's a few episodes of Video Game Sellers up, I figured it would be a good time to sort of give my opinions and views on resellers. First I want to say thank you for everyone who has been watching, subscribing, and especially commenting and letting us know that you're enjoying the show. I've got a lot of really good feedback, and I just can't say thanks enough because I'm a little surprised of how well it's doing in general. I figured, talking about such a touchy subject in our hobby as resellers, there could be, a lot of negative feedback. But in all honesty, I would say 95% has been positive, so I'm really impressed, and again, thank you guys very much. Now, as of my opinions, I hate resellers. No, I'm just joking. In our hobby of game collecting, there's a big hatred with a lot of people for resellers, people that know the value of what they are selling, therefore making it pretty much impossible to get a great deal. You're not going to get something that's worth $100 online or somewhere else, and you're for $2. You're just not going to happen with someone like that. And people get pissed because they want a good deal. But I've been thinking, especially since doing this show, that it's weird because when a lot of people go out and collect games, granted there's all different types of collectors, there's some people that don't care of the value, they don't even look at the value of the game, they're just looking at their personal interest, and there's some people that will purposely go after rare or valuable games even if they suck, even if they don't like them. And the values of all these games and of different levels and stuff, all is rated or justified, backed up by people that have purchased them. So I mean, right off the bat, the fact of resellers necessarily being a bad guy is sort of a 50-50 kind of thing. It's also the part of the buyers. Whoever is buying those games from resellers, regardless of where, would be helping out in that situation. Now, to call just resellers like someone at the flea market doesn't really make much sense either, because if you have a retro game store, technically they're resellers too. They know what they probably have, and they're going to market accordingly. eBay, sellers, anyone like that. And people get, mad at the fact that certain bigger companies like GameStop and whatever, they don't carry the old games. But at the same time, they're mad at, people that do, because they want to get more, they're charging the higher price for them. So it's like there's this big gray area of, if a company like GameStop did carry, older games, they're going to probably charge, a decent price for them, just like where everyone else is, because there are people out there that are willing to buy games at that cost. For the longest time, I was not a flea market digger or goer. I didn't go to garage sales. I very rarely went to a pawn shop or a thrift store or whatever, because I didn't have the damn time. I mean, I tour a lot. If I wasn't doing that, I was doing household stuff, and truthfully, I live in Florida. I don't want to go out and dig in a garage sale at 10 a.m. in the morning when it's already 90, 95 degrees. That's not very, fun in my eyes. I would rather, the type of collector I am, if I see a game that I know I want, I don't mind paying that extra, amount for on eBay or at a retro game store or something like that. Because the chances, sometimes I might not see that game for 5 years out in the wild somewhere. I could just buy it, then, and I could play it, because that's what I want to do. I'm not looking to necessarily be buying for the value of stuff. And I think that definitely is, like I said, sort of a gray area with people, is that they want to go out. Some people like to go out and dig through, a flea market, garage sale, or whatever, and they get excited when they find a rare, game. If they find something that on eBay or whatever, it goes for hundreds of dollars, and they find it for a couple bucks, they're going to get excited because that game somewhere sells for hundreds of dollars or whatever. If all older games, let's say, anything that's not current or new, if all older games were a few bucks, no more than $10, you probably wouldn't get as excited when you would go out and be digging at a flea market garage sale and find it. You'd be like, oh, cool, this is a cool game, I've been looking for it for a little while, I guess. it's worth like $5, you know. And I know that is not how everyone thinks. I'm not saying everyone is just basing prices when they go look for games or hunt for games. But it does sort of keep that drive going, you know, the excitement of possibly finding a rare game. And those prices are, in that excitement, is all built off of the fact that people resell the games for money, for a higher price, for, you know, a expensive amount sometimes. And there are people that keep those prices high because they're buying them, because they don't want to go out and dig it. So it's like this weird fucking cycle that just keeps going around and around, and I think some people just don't view all aspects of it. They go out, they get excited when they find those rare games, but they're not putting the other pieces together of, well, it's rare and valuable because people pay that money for it, you know? Not to repeat myself or anything, but I know there are people that only will go out and get games, older games, whatever, for a bottom dollar. They will never pay a high price for a game, and that is totally cool. You know, I'm all for that. That's how they collect, and they might not even really care if the fact that, you know, they find a game that is worth $100. If they find it for $5, they're like, you know what, that's awesome. But I'm more happy and satisfied with the fact that I enjoy this game. Doesn't matter to me that it's, you know, somewhere it sells for a lot. I'll only pay X amount of money for my games, and that's what happened. You know, and there are people who are like that. But if all games were cheap, you know, like I said, under $10, then you'd probably be able to get them anywhere, you know, for that price, either at a store or online or whatever. If no one cared of the collectible aspect, you know, then it would be different. And unfortunately, we live in a society, in a world where money is one of the most important things to so many people. So you almost have to attach, when you're talking about collectible or, you know, rare, you almost have to kind of attach a value to it at some point, because that's what it's based around. Even if there's not a monetary or a cash value put on something, say if the people that just like to trade, they don't like to do purchases a lot, you know, if they took forever to find, say, like this game right here, and you have a game that didn't take really long to find, it's pretty easy to find, and you want to trade me, well, no, I'm not going to trade you this, because it'll take me forever to find this one again. So there's always going to be some type of value put onto it, you know, even if it isn't money. Now, of course, there are sellers that you could label, you know, a con artist or a rip-off guy or whatever, because maybe they're trying to put a price on stuff that's literally over every other, you know, selling market, or they're, you know, lying about, you know, oh, this is the cheapest you'll find it, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's those kind of people don't last, you know, even if they do have, say, a booth at a flea market or a shop, whatever, they're not going to last, because only a certain percentage of, you know, the buyers are going to be either don't care, dumb enough, whatever you want to say, to just throw down their cash and walk out the door. That's not going to work. You know, eventually there's going to be enough people that go, well, you sell way too high, I'm not going to buy from you. And even calling anyone like that necessarily, you know, a con artist or a rip-off, it's kind of hard, because it's, you know, two-sided again. It's one of those where the person is putting down their money. If they don't want to do the research and find out that they can get it cheaper somewhere else, that's partly their fault too. So I mean, it's just one of those weird-ass things. You know, that's, I guess, all I can really say about it is there's always going to be two sides to everything, and I think people need to not just be so black and white when it comes to certain things in life. And I know this is about video games, and I'm starting to sound serious here, but to not sound serious, boobs. There we go. No, basically, I guess that's it, guys. Again, if you have watched, you know, the Video Game Sellers episodes, I thank you a lot, and thank you for leaving thumbs up and comments and that kind of stuff. So please respond to this. I'd love to hear, you know, your opinions. I'd rather hear, you know, actual discussion, debate, you know, questions or opinions, and not just, you know, this sucks or you suck or that's wrong or whatever. I don't like to argue most of the time. I'll ignore you, you know, an argument kind of statement. I respond back to, like, everybody that, you know, has a valid, you know, opinion or point. So thank you again. Hope you got something out of this. Just trying to, you know, show the different sides, you know, of the gaming world, I guess. So thank you again, and peace.